Hello there, Jan here once again, and I want to share a little bit about, an example essentially of how you can integrate a system A to system B to system C, etc. And we're going to use a example of WildApricot, which is a member management system, MMS. We work with associations, nonprofits, as well as coaches and consultants in the space. And association management software comes up, AMS. This is an MMS, but as you can see here from the menu, they serve as same associations, chambers, charities, nonprofits, clubs, chapters, etc. So it's an example of a piece of software that's doing very well in the marketplace. They have some really good clients here. And they have over 15,000 organizations that they serve. Now, the question that came up the other day was, hey, I want to be able to integrate this system with this other system. And how do you expose the data here automatically and create these glue points, essentially, that I can stitch together and expose data? Well, I'm going to show you that here today. And we're using this as an example because we work in the space, as I said, and also WildApricot is wildly popular in this sort of small to mid-range size businesses. So I'm going to share this with you, and let's take a look inside. So I've already logged in here. This is inside WildApricot, and you can get a 30-day free trial, I believe. And you can easily navigate the system internally with contacts, members, events, store. You have your own store here, donations, finances, communication apps. There's integrations, webhooks, etc. And you can also go to the sort of public profile and manage your website. So the entire WildApricot system allows you to almost drag and drop, if you will, in creating your headlines, your logos, your content. And you can see all of the optional menus that is exposed here through a WildApricot. And right now, this is just using a default template here. So we're going to go back inside here as we started in a moment. But I just wanted to show you this if you're not familiar with WildApricot. So I can head back here, click Return to Main Menu. And as I said here, there's a number of options here where you can manage this. Well, what we wanted to do is we wanted to see if we could expose this data. So we have some members here. This is a trial account. And let's see if we can actually pull out data from this with our API. So we go to our trusted N8N here. And I'm going to walk you through the WildApricot Association. These glue points, I call it a connection. And how we execute this workflow. So right now we're actually we haven't set this up to be automatic, but we can. But right now we're setting it in terms of what we're doing manually. So it's basically execute workflow. The first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to get a token, an API key from WildApricot, and we're going to authenticate against that. And the user is API key, and the password is the API key that you get inside of WildApricot. You literally just ask for the HTTP request node here, specify the API URL auth token here, and set this up inside the authentication area here in N8N. And we want to make sure that we're passing the headers that it requires. URL encoded, fairly standard. Send body, URL encoded. This one is important. Grant type, client credentials, scope, auto. We want to make sure that we're supplying this in this manner to WildApricot. So once we run this, I'm going to just hit it here. We're going to get an access token. So it's basically saying, yep, you are allowed to peek inside and start working with the data. We get a token type. It expires in refresh token. And over here, we can actually see, let's actually scan this, minimize this a little bit. We get a contact view, finance view, emails, events, store account. If you remember, I showed you earlier inside WildApricot, the menu on the left-hand side, this basically exposes that here in terms of the available scopes. So this is basically a standard way of presenting it for many of these systems. This happens to just be their way. Then what I can do is I can move forward here. Let's go ahead and size the window down just a tad bit so you can see it. So the cool thing is inside N8N, when you click on the left or right hand side here, you get the ability to sort of shift through the automation by just clicking the link. So I'm going to go to the next request, which is a second HTTP request. The first one was basically the official authentication. You get that that session. And here we can see it on the left-hand side. What we saw earlier, these available scopes are sitting here ready for our view. So what we now need to see is we need to look at that access token that we got. And we're going to basically essentially make sure that we get the full access to the contacts URL. And we can see it here. Result ID, we got it from the contacts. And object type is contact. Yes, there it is. And it's waiting. So we're basically waiting now for the next level of execution here. We're going to skip forward and I'm going to execute all fields here. So this is another request where I'm now looking at pulling out the contact/member information. So here we got first name, last name, email, display name, organization, last updated membership level. So we deal with membership levels here where they're sort of a lower level, a mid-level, or a high level. In this case, it's a basic membership, pardon me. And we can scroll down and we can see that it returns a number of fields and metadata here. And it's going to go to the next record down here. And there it is. That's actually me right there. And so, okay, it looks like everything is working here, but we still don't have the data that we're looking for, which is just simply pulling out the member contacts. So what we have to do now is we have to run against the JSON out or the schema here, run a piece of code, which is the code node against this data set and parse out the email here, the first name, the last name, full name, membership status, membership enabled, renewal date, join date, very important for associations and memberships. And so I'm basically going to parse this out. I'm going to ask for these values and let's see if we actually get it. Okay, I hope it doesn't break. It worked. Okay, so if you looked at the code inside here, I was talking about the ID, the email, first name, last name, full name, etc. So here we go. ID, email, first name, last name, full name. Membership status is active. We have membership enabled is true. Renewal date, we didn't set that. Join date, we haven't set that either. There's a phone number and some other administrative meta fields here. So these custom fields are essentially a summary of all the areas that we can now further dissect and extract here. But it is very simple to do. Now, if we wanted to, we could extend this further and expand the data set to parse it out just to a Google Sheet. Or I want to embed this into some other system that I'm using for perhaps it's a quarterly auditing process that needs to happen. And it's much easier, let's say, for some of the higher ups in the organization to just say, listen, I want to pull all the members that joined at a certain date are about to expire. And I want to be able to feed them into an email campaign. These guys obviously have all of that built out, but maybe you have an external system that you're using or more comfortable with and or has more flexibility. For instance, Active Campaign is one of those that we often will use. Well, then you can do that, right? So this API is WildApricot's API to talk to that N8N uses to extract the data. And you can then connect to, let's say, the Active Campaign API and then import this data as contacts and kick off automation and sequences there inside Active Campaign. Once this is been run and updated, send it back here, right? So all of this back and forth of passing of data has become super easy to do once you get authentication and connection set up like I just walked you through. And it's extremely fun to do as well when you see this stuff working, because these things used to take a while, a moment to actually develop using real developers. You know, you may not be a developer. Most of the clients I deal with are at a mid to high level, senior executives. Not that they want to sit and code out or build out these automations, but you can show them how it works and then give them the results within days, right? This is really very doable and very exciting, as I said, because this is the now. This is happening as we speak. And it's been going on for a while, but because of AI and the advent of ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude, all these tools really support each other and can bind and glue each other. I've been testing Manus recently. Phenomenal, a Singapore-based company. You should definitely check that out. But that's beside the point. I just wanted to show you this very simple workflow here, a step-by-step fashion for WildApricot. Associations use this, as I mentioned, nonprofits, etc. Very, very easy to do, to glue these points together and extract information and then continue to parse it through. And we have a lot of options here inside N8N, and I have some other videos here on this channel that you can look at to learn more about it. But I was telling my wife the other day, I'm just so excited about this. I can't sleep, man. It's just another level of excitement into the world that we live in. And as I said, we do support associations inside our organization, which is an agency we've had now for the last 15 years. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to click the link in the profile here on YouTube. Otherwise, I'm going to keep making these videos. This is obviously a non-scripted with a low $7 budget production. But hey, people are liking it. I'm liking it. I enjoy making these for you. So I'm going to call this one a thank you for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.